Hello class, welcome to my video again. Today I am going to teach about the Unit 1 of class 10, that is force. In the today's class, I will discuss about the introduction of the gravitation, Newton's universal law of gravitation. First is introduction of the gravitation. Let's take some example. For example, if we throw any object in the upward direction, it will never go or it will never continue to fly in the space. It will return back to the earth after some time. It always return towards the earth or towards the center of the earth. For example, if we throw the football or any volleyball or any other object in the upward direction, they always try to or they always will return back to the earth. And the next example is the fruit always fall down to the ground from the trees. They will never go to the upward direction. They will always return back. They will always fall to the ground. For example, the apple, the mangoes, or any other fruits which are in the tree, they will eventually fall in the ground or the earth. From these two examples, what we can conclude is the earth has certain type of the force. That's why it always try to attract the other object from the certain height. That's why the object which are in the certain height always falls towards the ground of the earth. So the earth attracts the various object towards the center and towards its center with a certain force, and that force is called as the gravity. But we know about the famous scientist Sir Isaac Newton. We have been reading about the Newtons in the smaller classes also. According to the famous scientist Sir Isaac Newton, he made a conclusion by his various studies about the heavenly bodies that not only the earth, in fact all the heavenly bodies, all the bodies in the universe are always pulling every other bodies towards them. For example, in the picture here we can see the here is the earth, here is the moon, and here is the sun. According to the Newton, what we can say is the earth is trying to pull the moon is also trying to pull the earth, the sun is trying to pull the moon as well as the earth also, and the moon and the earth are also trying to pull the sun. So the force exists between them uh, according to the Newton. That means the object which is falling from the certain height, this ball which is falling from the certain height, it is also trying to pull the earth towards it. The fruit which is falling from the tree, it also try to pull the earth towards them. But we cannot observe or we cannot experience the force or attraction by the fruit which is falling from the tree, by the ball which is falling from the certain height. Their force of attraction or the force of their pull cannot be experienced by us because they have their very small size. That means they have the very small size as compared to the earth. That's why their force of attraction cannot be experienced. We cannot experience the force of attraction by the ball or the fruit which is falling towards the center of the earth. According to the Newton, all the heavenly bodies in the universe possess a force of gravity. When the two bodies try to attract each other with their respective gravity, it is called as the gravitation or the gravitational force. It is measured in the Newton. The unit of the standard unit or the SI unit of the gravitational force is Newton. So according to the definition of the gravitation, we can say that the sun, the sun in the picture here, and the earth, which is here, they try to pull each other. The sun is trying to pull the earth towards it. The earth is trying to pull the sun towards it. As well as here is the moon and here is the earth. They also try to pull each other. Now, second topic is Newton universal law of gravitation. According to the Sir Isaac Newton, every object in the universe, every object in the universe attracts every other object with a certain force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses For example, let's take an example. This blue one is the one body and the green one is the one body. Blue one is represented by the M1 and the green body is represented by the M2. This M1 means the mass of the blue body and M2 means the mass of the green body. They have their certain mass. So according to the first condition given by the statement of the Newton universal law of gravitation, the force of attraction between them, F1 into F1 and F2, they are the force. So the force of attraction between them, the common force will be F, capital F, that is the representation of the gravitation force. So the force of attraction will be equal to the product of their masses. That means the capital F will be equal to the M1 into M2. According to the second condition uh, given by the statement of the Newton, that is the force of attraction will be indirectly proportional to the distance from their center, square of the distance from their center. We will try to understand about this in the detail. So derivation, the statement says that the force of attraction between the two bodies is directly proportional to the product of their masses. M1 and the M2, they are the masses. F is the common force, gravitation force, that is the gravitation force of attraction between exist between their body. So gravitation force F will be directly proportional to the product of their masses. So this is the first condition of the Newton universal law of gravitation, which can be written as F. Capital F is the force, representation of the force, and M1 is the mass of the one body, and the M2 is the mass of the another body. So first condition says that, we know the first condition says that force is directly proportional to the mass product of the mass 1 and the M2, that is the mass 2. That means if we increase the mass of the any body, the force will also be increased. And the second condition says that the force of attraction between any two bodies is indirectly proportional to the square of their distance between their center. That means the force, the M1 and the M2, these are the body, as we know this, and the force of attraction, gravitation force, is represented by the capital F. So the capital F will be indirectly proportional to the square of the distance from their center. This is the center of the M1 and this is the center of the M2. This line indicate the center. So the distance from their center, that is represented by the small d, which can be written as force F is indirectly 1 upon d square. D square means the square of the distance from the center of the body, two bodies, M1 and the M2. Now, if we combine the equation 1 and equation 2, we know in the equation 1 is force is directly proportional to the product of the masses M1 and M2. Force is indirectly proportional to the square of the distance from their center according to the equation 2. If we combine these two equations, it becomes F is proportional to the M1 into M2 upon T square, which can be written as F is equal to G, capital G, M1 into M2 upon T square. If we simplify these equations again, F is equal to G into M1 into M2 upon T square. So the G, which we have been discussing in this formula, the capital G, which is written in the blue letter here, the capital G, which is used in the formula, is called as the Newton universal law of gravity, Newton's universal gravitational constant. This is the constant. Constant means its value will never be changed wherever we go in the universe. The value of the capital G will be remain same wherever we go in the universe. This is the end of our class for today. The remaining part of the first chapter, first unit, will be continuously uploaded in this YouTube channel. I hope you will be stay tuned with this YouTube channel. I hope you will like this video. If you have any comments about the video, if you have any confusion, or if you find any mistakes about the video, you can message us directly in the Facebook page, which will be given in the description of the video. Thank you, class.